Let us begin a journey through China, a land vast as myth, ancient as stone, and alive with contrasts. Here, deserts sleep beside rivers that never rest. Forests whisper beside megacities. Temples rise between glass towers and rice fields. This is a country shaped by emperors and poets, by mountains that touch the sky and valleys that speak in silence. From the Great Wall's winding breath to the soft step of a panda in bamboo shade, China is not one voice. It is a chorus echoing across centuries. And in the southwest, where Yunnan, Sichuan, Guizhou, and Tibet meet the land, becomes wilder, higher, more ancient still. Here the earth folds into jagged peaks and deep karst valleys. Ethnic villages cling to hillsides. Rivers carve through mist and memory. It is a place where time slows, where stories are told in stone, in snow, in song. Are you ready to walk with me through a land where beauty waits in every shadow and where the earth still remembers how to dream? Yunnan, the land of eternal spring. Jade Dragon Snow Mountain, Lijiang. Jade Dragon Snow Mountain rises above Lijiang like a frozen wave caught mid-motion, jagged, eternal, and impossibly close to the sky. With 13 snowy peaks stretching across the horizon, this sacred range is both a guardian and a god in Naxi tradition. Clouds drift across sharp ridges. Glaciers glint like ancient mirrors. Below, fields bloom and yaks graze in silence. At 400 to 500 meters, the air grows thin and light becomes sacred. A cable car lifts visitors toward the summit, but the journey feels like stepping into another world. Here, snow meets legend. The mountain hums with old songs, its silence deeper than sound. Priests once climbed these heights to speak with spirits. Now, hikers, dreamers, and pilgrims come not only to see, but to feel the stillness wrapped in white. Jade Dragon is not just a mountain, it's a memory carved into ice, a reminder of how near the heavens truly are. Erhai Lake, Dali. Erhai Lake stretches like a silver mirror beside Dali's ancient walls, calm, vast, and quietly alive. Framed by the Kangshan Mountains to the west and scattered fishing villages along its edge, this highland lake is more than a body of water. It is a soul, resting between sky and stone. Fishermen still cast nets by hand. Women in colorful bai dress wash vegetables at the shore. Boats glide through reflections of white clouds and tiled roofs as wind chimes echo from lakeside cafes. Cycling the lake's edge, you'll pass fields of garlic temples that lean with age and birds floating without fear. At sunrise, the water glows gold. By dusk, it turns violet, a palette only time can paint. Erhai is not loud, it is steady. In its silence, there is movement. In its stillness, a story of a land that listens, of a people who stay close to water, and of a peace that lingers long after you leave. Luoping Canola Fields, Yunnan. Each spring, Luoping blooms in gold. As far as the eye can see, canola flowers spread like a sunlit ocean, broken only by dark karst hills, rising like islands from the sea of yellow. From above, the view is a living painting field swirl in perfect curves around limestone peaks. Farmers in wide-brimmed hats walk narrow paths through the bloom. Bees buzz lazily through air, thick with scent. The sun filtered through yellow seems softer, kinder. At dawn, mist floats between hills, turning fields into a dreamscape. At sunset, the flowers seem to glow from within. Photographers, poets, and wanderers gather here not for noise, but for light, for the quiet miracle of so much beauty gathered in one place. Luoping is not just a seasonal sight. It's a celebration of earth of bloom, of the silent work of seeds and sky. Ancient towns of Yunnan, Lijiang, Dali, Shuhe. In the heart of Yunnan, time flows not like a clock, but like a stream through cobbled streets and ancient courtyards. Lijiang, Dali, and Shuhe, three towns built of woodstone and memory, each hold a mirror to a different past, yet together whisper a single, timeless rhythm. Lijiang dances with Naxi heritage, carved bridges arch over canals lit by lanterns. Music spills from homes like wind through pine. At dawn, Shuhe stirs slowly its alleys lined with moss and silence. In Dali, white-walled houses rest beneath blue-tiled roofs where the Bai people hang herbs from balconies and smile at passers-by. There are no skyscrapers here, only the scent of tea, the sound of footsteps on old stones, and the soft clang of prayer bells. Time slows, breath deepens. These towns are not relics. They are rivers of living culture flowing through hands, homes, and history. Stone Forest, Xijiang, Yunnan. The stone forest of Xijiang rises from the earth like a forgotten army, jagged spires, towering columns, and limestone blades carved by time, wind, and water. Spread across hundreds of square kilometers, this UNESCO World Heritage Site is not a forest of trees, but of stone petrified into motion. Some peaks look like swords, others like frozen waves. Myths say these rocks were once lovers, warriors, or spirits turned to stone. The local Sani people dance through them each year, celebrating legends as old as the formations themselves. Walk between walls of grey and shadow. Listen, the wind whistles like a flute through narrow passes. Birds call from crevices. Light shifts across edges sharp as memory. Xijiang is not a ruin. It's a landscape alive with story. Every rock is a sculpture. Every path, a passage into Earth's deep imagination. Shaxi, ancient town, Yunnan. Nestled between Dali and Lijiang, Shaxi is a village suspended in time, quiet, sun-warmed, and laced with stories once carried by caravans of the ancient Tea-Horse Road. Cobblestone alleys twist past timber homes, their doors creaking open to reveal inner courtyards shaded by persimmon trees. The old market square still pulses with memory traders once gathered here, exchanging tea salt and stories under the watchful gaze of carved temples. Unlike its more famous neighbors, Shaxi remains unhurried. There are no crowds, no neon signs, only the slow rhythm of footsteps, the scent of wood smoke, and the distant ring of a bicycle bell. Here, the earth still remembers the weight of hooves. The air still carries the echo of distant bells, and the heart somehow beats a little slower. Shaxi is not just a stop, it's a pause, a breath, drawn deep between mountains and memory. Fuxian Lake, Yunnan. Fuxian Lake lies like a jewel dropped from the sky, its waters clear deep and wrapped in myths. The deepest freshwater lake in Yunnan and among the clearest in China, it stretches across silent hills and small villages that breathe with ancient rhythm. The surface gleams turquoise under the sun and sinks to sapphire by dusk. Fishermen glide over glassy waters in wooden boats. Children run along stone steps, leading to temples that overlook the lake like gentle sentinels. Legends say a lost underwater city sleeps beneath these waters, ruins of a vanished civilization hidden in the silence below. Divers explore its depths. Locals tell tales. The mystery adds weight to the breeze. Fuxian is not wild, it is still. And in that stillness lies something sacred, something that calls you to stop, to float, and to listen for stories beneath the waves. Shangri-La, Yunnan. High on the Tibetan plateau, where air turns thin and prayer flags tremble in the wind, lies Shangri-La, a place not just on a map, but in the imagination. Once known as Zhongdian, this town took on its mythic name for a reason. It feels like the edge of the world, where time walks barefoot. Golden-roofed monasteries overlook valleys where yaks graze beneath snow-tipped mountains. The Ganden Sumtseling Monastery, Yunnan's largest Tibetan temple, stands like a miniature Patala palace, watching over lakes that reflect both sky and silence. Tibetan chants echo through hills scented with juniper and smoke. Pilgrims walk the Kora. Wind carries prayer and memory across wide-open land. Shangri-La isn't a fantasy. It's a feeling of quiet vastness, of sacred height, of being small beneath something infinite. Sichuan, where mountains speak and rivers roar. Jiuzhaigou Valley, Sichuan. Jiuzhaigou is a valley painted in water and light, where lakes shimmer like stained glass and waterfalls tumble through forests cloaked in gold and emerald. Tucked into northern Sichuan, this UNESCO World Heritage Site feels less like a place and more like a dream you can walk through. Turquoise pools stretch beneath pine-covered slopes. In autumn, the trees ignite in flame red and amber, reflected perfectly on still water. Snow dusts the peaks. Tibetan villagers dot the valley floor, their prayer flags fluttering in the breeze. Each lake has a legend. Each stone remembers ice and fire. In Nuorilang Waterfall, the largest in the valley, water fans out like a silver curtain. It doesn't crash, it sings. Jiuzhaigou is not just beautiful, it's enchanted, a sacred landscape where nature composes with quiet hands and where silence speaks in color. Huanglong, Sichuan. Huanglong yellow dragon coils along the Minshan Mountains like a celestial creature turned to stone and water. This magical valley is known for its terraced pools of calcite, shimmering gold and turquoise beneath snow-touched peaks. The colors look unreal, but they are born of minerals, time, and mountain spring. From above, the pools ripple like a dragon's scales, hence the name. Between the basins, waterfalls flow and forests breathe. Monkeys call from the trees. Clouds hover close, low and soft. Sacred to Tibetan and Han cultures alike, Huanglong is not just a natural wonder, it's a sacred path. Pilgrims once climbed here in silence, following the dragon's spine to hidden temples and unseen gods. Come for the colors, stay for the quiet that settles deep in the bones. Huanglong doesn't demand awe. It invites it slowly, softly, completely. Mount Siguniang, Four Sisters Mountain, Sichuan. Mount Siguniang rises in the west of Sichuan like a legend comes to life. Four snow-capped peaks standing guard over valleys carved by wind, river, and time. The tallest Yao Mei Feng is often called the Queen of Sichuan Mountains, piercing the sky at over 6,200 meters. Wrapped in clouds, the mountains shimmer white above green meadows and glacial lakes. Yaks graze in silence. Rhododendrons bloom wild in spring. In Tibetan lore, the peaks are four sisters protecting their land, their beauty both fierce and tender. Trekkers pass through pine forests and over alpine passes. Each step leads closer to stillness. The sky feels nearer here. So does your heartbeat. Siguniang is not just for climbers. It's for those who listen to stone, to snow, to wind, brushing against eternity. Chengdu research speaks of giant panda breeding Sichuan. In the quiet bamboo groves on the edge of Chengdu, the most beloved creatures in China nap, munch, and roll through life with unhurried charm. The Chengdu Panda Base is more than a zoo. It is a sanctuary where science and tenderness meet. Pandas lie belly up while chewing bamboo with rhythmic calm. Cubs tumble through playgrounds like clumsy balls of fluff. Mothers groom their young with sleepy patience. In shaded enclosures that mimic their wild habitat, these gentle giants are studied, protected, and adored. But the experience isn't just visual, it's emotional. Watching a newborn panda blink open its eyes, or seeing one grasp its first bamboo shoot, touches something childlike and pure. This is not just a place to observe. It's a place to remember wonder, black and white against green, slow movement in a fast world, and the soft silence of something rare being saved. Chengdu, capital of Sichuan. Chengdu moves at the pace of tea, slow, deep, and warm. As the capital of Sichuan, it is both ancient and modern, rich in flavor and history. Here, stone streets wind past temples and tea houses, bamboo shadows fall across the walls of Wuhou Shrine, and the scent of hot pot drifts through alleyways older than memory. But Chengdu is not loud. It's a murmur of mahjong tiles, clacking of pandas, yawning in bamboo groves of elders, laughing beneath ginkgo trees. This is a city that breathes with grace. Ancient poets once walked its gardens. Today, artists, chefs, monks, and dreamers still call it home. Beyond the skyscrapers, Chengdu's soul lies in its rhythm. A sip of jasmine tea, a pause in the park, the long, slow simmer of something unforgettable. Larung Gar Buddhist Academy, Serta. Larung Gar is a sea of red, thousands of monk cells cascading across a remote Tibetan valley, forming the largest Buddhist academy in the world. From a distance, it looks like a tapestry, threads of devotion woven into the mountains of Serta. Here, monks and nuns live side by side studying scripture under the sky. At dawn, the valley glows. At night, it flickers with prayer lamps, stars, and quiet. Despite its size, Larung Gar is not noisy. It hums with discipline and silence. Chants rise like incense. Wind carries whispers of Tibetan Sanskrit and compassion. This is not a tourist site. It is a world apart, sacred, remote, and alive with spirit. Larung Gar is not just seen. It is felt in the stillness, the repetition, and the power of faith built brick by humble brick. Litang, the high city of the plateau. Litang sits above the clouds at over 4,000 meters, one of the highest towns in the world. Surrounded by vast grasslands and snow-capped peaks, it feels less like a town and more like a passageway between earth and sky. Horses run wild. Nomads pitch tents near streams. The air is thin but pure, so clear it feels like glass. At the heart of Litang stands the Grand Litang Monastery, home to centuries of Tibetan tradition and once the birthplace of a Dalai Lama. In summer, wildflowers bloom across endless hills. In winter, snow softens everything into silence. Litang is a place of raw space, vast, open, and humbling. The sky stretches wide, time feels slower, and the land seems to breathe with every gust of wind. To come here is to be reminded how small we are and how free. Yading Nature Reserve, Zhaoxing. In Yading, the earth feels untouched, a sanctuary of sacred peaks, turquoise lakes, and meadows lit by morning frost. Known as the last pure land on earth, this Tibetan nature reserve in Zhaoxing is a hymn of beauty in stillness. Three snow mountains rise in perfect symmetry, the holy peaks of Chenrezig Jampayang and Chanadorje. Pilgrims walk Kora paths around them, spinning prayer wheels with each step. Below Milk Lake glows with glacier-fed light. Five-color lake shimmers like a sacred mirror. Yaks graze beneath golden trees. Eagles circle above. And the only sound is wind, carrying prayer stories and silence across the land. Yading is not for rushing. It is for returning to the self, to the sky, to something that existed long before names. To walk here is to walk inside a prayer. Guizhou, hidden valleys, hidden voices. Zhenyuan ancient town, Guizhou. Zhenyuan rests like a poem folded along the Wuyang River, a town of arched bridges, worn stone streets, and moonlit reflections. Encircled by lush mountains, this ancient town has stood for over 2,000 years, blending Han and Miao cultures in every roof tile and courtyard. Boats drift slowly under lantern-lit bridges. Temples perch quietly above cliffs, their incense winding skyward like invisible silk. At night, the river mirrors the past glowing windows, fading footsteps, and whispers of ancient traders. Wander narrow alleys where moss softens stone and silence speaks. Visit Qinglong Cave Temple, carved into rock where faith clings to mountain walls. Zhenyuan is not loud in its beauty. It's soft, a gentle remembering of what life once was when the world moved slower and still mattered more. Xijiang Qianhu Miao Village, Guizhou. Tucked into the green folds of Leigong Mountain, Zhejiang, is a world of wood and silver, home to the largest Miao village in China. From a distance, its stilted houses climb the hills like a dark forest of roofs. Up close, they reveal a life steeped in rhythm and ritual. Women in embroidered dresses walk stone paths, silver headdresses gleaming in the sun. Songs echo from homes. The clatter of looms weaves stories into cloth. During festivals, the village comes alive, dragon dances, firecrackers, and wine served from curved horns. At night, lanterns glow over the river. Laughter drifts on mountain wind. Xijiang is not a museum. It's a living village, proud, poetic, and fiercely rooted in tradition. To visit is to step into a story still being told. Zhaoxing Village, Guizhou. In a quiet valley wrapped in mist, Zhaoxing rises gently from the earth, a Dong village of wooden homes, wind and rain bridges, and 5 tall drum towers that echo with memory. Here, architecture is poetry. Bridges arch over clear streams. Tower roofs curve like birds mid-flight. The Dong people do not use nails, only joinery, patience, and song. And their songs are the soul of Zhaoxing. No instruments, just layered voices carrying stories from centuries past. In early morning, smoke rises from chimneys. In the evening, elders gather in pavilions to sing. Rice terraces unfold nearby like green waves frozen in motion. Zhaoxing is not built for tourists. It's built for times slow, hand-hewn, and full of song. Qingyan Ancient Town, Guizhou. Qingyan clings to the hills south of Guiyang like a memory carved in stone. Founded in the Ming Dynasty, it was once a fortress. Now, a labyrinth of cobbled lanes, grey bricks and gateways etched with dragons. Step through the old south gate, and time folds around you. Temples hum with incense. Hidden courtyards reveal quiet gardens. The scent of tofu, ginger, and sticky rice drifts from alley stalls as elders sit sipping tea beneath carved eaves. Here, every brick is worn by footsteps. Every door has stories. The town doesn't perform its past, it lives in it gently every day. Qingyan is not grand, but it is graceful, a place where history breathes, not in monuments, but in the still, steady rhythm of daily life. Tiantai Mountain, Guizhou. Tiantai Mountain rises like a green crown in Guizhou's sky, cloaked in forest, veined with waterfalls, and shaped by centuries of spiritual presence. For Taoists and Buddhists alike, this peak is a place of pilgrimage where stone steps ascend toward temples that seem to float in mist. The journey upward passes through silence, mossy stairways, shrines carved into cliffs, and pine trees leaning over ancient railings. The air grows cooler. The world below fades into distance. At the summit, the view opens wide. Clouds drift like breath. Prayer ribbons dance in the wind that smells of cedar and old stone. Tiantai is not only a mountain, it is a place of ascent, not just in distance, but in spirit. To climb it is to rise into something quieter, higher, and more enduring than the world below. Jianglang Mountain, Guizhou. Jianglang Mountain is a marvel of vertical rhythm. 3 giant stone peaks rise like blades from the earth, aligned with impossible symmetry. Part of the UNESCO-recognized Dangxia landform, it is a place sculpted by erosion, wind, and time into something both sharp and surreal. The rock is red, streaked with shadow. Narrow ridges curve like spines. Hikers ascend steep stairs, clinging to cliff edges, each step a test of courage and wonder. At the summit, clouds drift below your feet, and silence hums like a heartbeat. Jianglang doesn't ease into view. It strikes sudden, bold, unforgettable. But within that rawness is a strange calm, a reminder that even the fiercest shapes can hold stillness within. This is a mountain of edges, where the earth stands tall and asks you to match its balance. Tibet, the roof of the world. Lhasa, the heart of Tibet. Lhasa breathes at the rooftop of the world, ancient, golden, and wrapped in sky. At over 3,600 meters, it is more than a city. It is a prayer cast in stone and light. The Potala Palace rises like a vision, its white walls and crimson towers carved into the mountainside. Below the Zhaoxing temple pulses with incense and footsteps. Pilgrims circle it endlessly, spinning prayer wheels, prostrating in dust and devotion. Monks chant in a deep rhythm. Wind carries the sound like a thread. In Lhasa, time feels soft. The sun is sharp, the night silent. Snow peaks stand sentinel on the horizon, while prayer flags flutter, like breath between rooftops. This city is not loud. It whispers of resilience, of ritual, of a spirit shaped by altitude and belief. Lhasa is not only a capital, it is a sanctuary, sacred, high, and unforgettable. Everest Base Camp, Tibet side. Here at the edge of the sky, Everest rises silent, immense, and untouched. On the Tibetan side, the road to base camp is a journey through emptiness, vastness, and humility. Each bend reveals more sky, more silence, more of the mountain's shadow growing closer. The Rongbuk Monastery, the world's highest, stands like a quiet witness to it all. Monks chant beneath frozen peaks. Flags flutter with prayers meant for wind. The air is thin, and every breath is a reminder you are small and the world is infinite. At Base Camp, Everest does not roar. It waits. A wall of white and ice unmoved by time. Clouds wrap around its peak like myth. Photographs cannot hold its weight. To stand here is not triumph. It is surrender to height, to silence, to something far greater than self. Pangong Tso, Western Tibet. Pangong Tso shimmers like liquid sky, a saltwater lake, so high, so still, it feels like a mirror placed between mountains. Stretching over 130 kilometers, its colors change, with every cloud, every hour, from sapphire to silver, from emerald to storm blue. Winds sweep across its surface. Yaks graze on distant hills. Silence is broken only by the cry of gulls or the rustle of wind through prayer flags. On its western shore, the lake reaches into Tibet like a quiet hand holding the sky. The water is cold, impossibly clear. On cloudless days, it reflects the Himalayas perfectly, not just their form, but their stillness. Pangong is not easy to reach, and maybe that's the point. It remains untamed, unsweetened, a gift for those who move slowly and look closely. It is not just a lake, it is stillness made of water. You have walked through lands where clouds touch stone, where rivers remember the mountains they were born from, and where silence holds the weight of centuries. You have seen temples carved into cliffs, villages stitched into hillsides, and lakes that speak in the language of light. In Yunnan's soft valleys, in Guizhou's green folds, across Sichuan's sacred heights, and Tibet's endless skies, you have felt a different kind of time. Slower, older, closer to the earth. But the journey does not end here, because the magic of Southwest China is not only in what you see, it is in what stays with you. In the hush of a hidden path, in the echo of a prayer flag snapping in wind, in the way your breath caught, not just from the altitude, but from awe. Let that feeling guide you. Let it call you back.